For my Labu practice presentation, I'll be imagining that I am a subordinate of Mr. Jin Kim and I am presenting to the board of directors at the Seoul headquarters. And the main point is to inform the current situation about Mr. Jin Kim's current situation, and basically it is to request the board of directors the flexibility and the power for Mr. Jin Kim to carry out reallocation. Good evening. I am William Kim, and I am currently working under Mr. Jin Kim from the Taejeon branch. He was busy with an overseas trip today, so I would be taking his place on giving you his presentation. As you all know, Taejeon has become an important area. It has become a large industrial area, and the boom in the auto industry has caused a rise in demand for our auto insurance services. And the prospects are very high, but only under certain conditions. And what Mr. Kim found out is that there are problems with the cost accounting system, how our overhead costs are allocated. And the main problem with this cost allocation system is that it inflicts penalty on high revenue generating divisions in our branch. And I would like to request the flexibility and the autonomy to be given to Mr. Kim to carry out relocation. Currently, our branch allocates costs to the IT department, to the operations support, to marketing, and the GA team based on their revenue. This is precisely the problem. We have been receiving reports that there has been little gain from these increases in overhead costs, and it often adds to the difficulty of each division's trying to achieve their goals. And what Mr. Jim Kim found out is that although revenue has increased from 24 million to 33 million from 2007 to 2008, our profits suffered because of rising costs. Overhead costs may not seem like much, but it is a large problem, especially in our Taejeon branch. 40% of all our total costs come from overhead costs. So it is an issue worth discussing. First, I will look into our IT department. First of all, it is our most successful division. We have made the current situation very efficient. We have cut jobs from 82 to 45 from 2007 to 2008. Although this may not be the most moral course of action we have taken, what we have ultimately done is reduce non-value adding activities. But however, despite the rise in efficiency and the rise in revenue, we have not seen a rise in profit. This is because overhead costs were added from 18.4 to 24 million in the same period of time. This unnecessarily lowers profitability and efficiency because we do not actually need this amount of money. Next would be the operations support team. They have seen incredibly inefficient allocation of overhead costs. Our branch has worked hard in marketing to reduce traffic accidents in the road. This would ultimately lead to the reduction in staff and equipment, which would lead to lowering costs. And it shows our efforts have truly worked, because accidents fell from 54 cases to 31 cases from 2007 to 2008. But the value of our overhead costs increased from 24.3 to 24.3 from $18 million. And it seems like the headquarters allocation of resources sort of contradicts our goals, which is to reduce traffic accidents, thus reducing the cost of paying for staff and equipment. Next would be our marketing branch. Our research shows that our high marketing costs, which currently stand $12.7 million, does not reflect the branch's needs. Our research has shown that there is no direct correlation between nationwide advertisement spending and our increases in revenue. It just doesn't affect revenue in the way that headquarters would expect. Finally, it would be the GA team. GA generally also shows an increase in costs from $14.7 million to $15.7 million, which goes against, again, Mr. Jin Kim's objective of downsizing to lower costs. In conclusion, we can see that for all divisions, overhead costs have increased in total of $73 million to $89.4 million. We can see the main underlying problem here is that headquarters does not seem to understand our needs and our objectives. And these can be shrunk into two smaller problems. First of all, it shows that our spending is not proportional to our revenue. These overhead costs do not affect our revenue. It is shown in the IT department. It is unnecessarily incurring costs to a would-be profitable division, and for the marketing division, the nationwide advertisements do not benefit the branch directly. And also, the second problem would be that it contradicts the policy of Mr. Jin Kim, who wants to downsize to reduce our costs. But what we can see from the operation support and the GA is that despite Mr. Jin Kim's policy of reducing costs, headquarters seems to unnecessarily allocate costs inefficiently. Although it may be in the director's best interest to increase our overhead costs,